Hi everyone, welcome back to the cottage. In today's video, I am outlining 8 different categories of spots where you can begin your decluttering process with major success. If you are just starting out on your journey towards a more minimalist lifestyle, a simple lifestyle, you may be a bit overwhelmed thinking about everything that you need to be going through and really being mindful about. And sometimes we get stuck at those first steps of the process, thinking we might do something wrong, we might declutter something that we will regret doing later. And so today I have some foolproof options of ways that you can start decluttering and make some really good, successful decisions early on in your process that will give you confidence to make those more difficult decisions later on. I'm going to start off this list with a fairly obvious category of items, and that is to begin decluttering anything in your home that is broken and you don't have immediate plans to fix. You might be actually really surprised to find how many unusable things that you have in your home. Try out all those markers and pens, go around and check all the different areas that you know you have set things that you are planning on fixing at some point. I would challenge you that if it is something that's broken and you haven't fixed it yet, to set a deadline for yourself to try to fix that item. And if you don't meet that deadline, it probably means that the item doesn't hold the value for you that it used to. This is an easy category. It's kind of a fun category. Most of the time, these are things that don't hold a lot of importance to us, and so they should be pretty easy to let go of. We'll go straight from the easy category to one that is much more controversial, and that is to declutter any gifts that you've received that you do not like. Now, this one can be a little bit touchy because we feel that if someone took the time to give us this gift, that it must be something that's important and we should hold on to. But I have learned through the years that really if someone has that love language of gift giving, the act of them giving you the gift the purpose was served in that moment. And so for you to hold on to the gift really isn't serving anybody. This can be especially tricky for any item that is gifted to a person from a loved one who has since passed away. If this is something that you're struggling with, I really encourage you to go back and watch my video about Swedish death cleaning where I discuss this topic more thoroughly. Essentially, I want you to know that the memory of that person, that loved one, isn't within the item that you have. It is within your heart and your soul and your mind. And by getting rid of that item, if it's not serving a purpose for you, it is not betraying that loved person. These items were given to you, they are now your possessions, and you can choose to do with them what you wish. The third type of items that you should declutter first when starting a minimalist journey is any item that is considered a fantasy self item. These are things that you purchased with a mindset that you were going to do this thing or be this type of person, and maybe you never really lived up to the standard that you had set for yourself. And every time you look at these things, you think back to that moment when you had all of these goals and ideas, and you feel guilty, you feel defeated that you didn't accomplish what you set out to do. A lot of times these type of fantasy self items are still very good quality. There's nothing wrong with them, they just weren't being used. And so some of the guilt can come from knowing that you spent a lot of money and investment in these things that didn't get used. And so for this type of situation, I definitely would encourage you to try to sell or consign these things to make back some of the money that you put into them, and then use that money towards a type of activity or something that you really truly are invested in right now. And that can really make you feel good in a couple of different ways. It's going to boost your morale towards the new adventure that you're going on, the new thing that you are interested in. And it's also going to make you feel good knowing that whoever purchases them from you is going to be using these items. So it's really a win-win. If you want a really quick win, go with category number 4, and that is to get rid of any expired food in your fridge, your pantry, or your storage area. And while you're at it, go ahead and look at your medicine cabinet, your beauty items, your sunscreens. Those things also have expiration dates, and so you'll probably find some things to throw out in those categories as well. The next category of items to declutter early on in your minimizing journey is anything that brings up bad memories. This sounds kind of silly, kind of funny, but it's surprising to know how many people keep things that have those bad memories attached to them. It can be anything from an article of clothing that you were wearing when you got some bad news or something tragic happened, or a box of letters from someone you used to be close to and you've had since a falling out, you don't talk to that person anymore. There's really no need to keep these things if every time you see them, they stir up all of these emotions for you. I don't need to go into depth on this topic at all because it's fairly self-explanatory. Only you will know which items bring up these memories, and I definitely am encouraging you today that if you have anything like that laying around your house, to go ahead and get rid of it because it's not serving you any purpose and it'll be very freeing for you to let them go. A more lighthearted category that is easy to declutter is any kids' toys they are no longer playing with. This can also extend to clothes they no longer like to wear, books they don't like read to them anymore, etc., etc. I did a video very recently about kids and minimalism and why I think it is so beneficial. You can go watch that if you'd like more information, more in depth on this topic. But generally speaking, kids know instinctively which their favorite things are, and they are always going to them. They always are playing with the same types of toys. They're picking out the same outfits again and again. And so really helping them to make those decisions. And you know too that there are probably things that you purchased for them, whether it be toys, books, clothing items that you thought maybe they would like, but they just didn't. We could really get very overwhelmed in our homes if we have children, if we kept every single thing that came into our lives, whether it be by our own hand or as gifts. Find those favorites and just get rid of the excess. Another type of item that you should definitely consider decluttering right away is anything that you could put the label "just in case" on. The Minimal Mom recently did a video all about this topic, and I literally laughed out loud when I saw it because it was such a silly representation of what is so true. We hold on to things that we think might be useful in the future, even if we don't have a specific plan for what those things would be used for. And so I definitely encourage you, if you are starting out on a minimalism journey, to make those set plans for those just in case items. Either use them right away and execute that plan, or to toss them, because whether you know it or not, all of these just in case items are taking up a lot of your mental energy and they're taking up a lot of space in your home. So get rid of them early on in the process. And finally, the last category of items that you should be able to declutter early on and with somewhat ease is basically everything that you keep in storage. I'm putting a blanket statement out there saying that most of the time, things that are kept in storage are not actually needed in your life. I would encourage you, if you can, to actually get rid of those boxes straight away without even going through them. I know that is probably hard for most people, and so really taking a mindful approach of going through the boxes and thinking to yourself, if I didn't even know this was here, how much do I actually value it? Consider your storage areas, consider your storage spaces, and you should be able to find a lot of things to declutter fairly easily in those areas. Alright guys, well I hope this video helps you to jumpstart your decluttering process. If you are starting out feeling overwhelmed by all the decisions you need to make, pick a category from this list and just go to town on making those quick decisions, easy decisions, and every single decision that you make is going to help you become more confident, and eventually down the road you'll be able to tackle those more difficult items such as sentimental things and make confident decisions there as well. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope that you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.